Well, we don't know for sure. I mean, in fact, I meant to mention that on the slide is that can be a little bit misleading because 99 cents per report versus $10 per report, that's really either number is a relatively small portion of the total. Remember, right now, if I pull a joint credit report for a pre-qualification of home buyers, and we buy ours from a company called Cisco Credit, it's $162. So there's a lot more in there than just the FICO pull versus the Vantage Score pull. You know, the industry is pointing their fingers at FICO, thinking that FICO bumped up what they charge to just be able to use the score, like their royalty, if you will. And they're like, no, it's the credit bureau's fault. It's not us. It's not FICO. It's the credit bureaus. And of course, and the industry is therefore also criticizing the credit bureaus. And yet now we're endorsing a new product that's owned by the credit bureaus. They're supposed to drive down the cost. So on the one hand, the industry's criticized the three bureaus for high credit report costs, but now endorsing those three bureaus' new product to reduce the cost. So
I guess have to let it play out a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's talk about the Zillow article that came out, and they're predicting a market shift. Let's talk about that. Because I don't know about you, but when we talk to people, whether we're going to buy a car, we're going to buy a home, invest, whatever it is, we're trying to think, hey, where is the future in this? And I think that's one of those things where, the first thing is, what does Zillow say? They say slower price growth. What does that mean?
Well, it's interesting. I read the article, and one of the things I noticed is that it did, in fact, kind of early in the article, it opened with their estimate that home values are going to be up 0.3% at the end of 2026. That's pretty modest.
Yeah.
So then they try to go into sort of explaining, kind of the underlying basis for, that kind of prediction. And they pointed out a couple of things. Back in March, they apparently had forecast that the improvement in terms of increasing existing home sales rate, that back in March, they were predicting that for 2026, they would be up 3.4% year over year. And of course, if that came out to be true, that would kind of run in conflict with the idea that home price growth is going to slow, or the property price growth is going to slow, because if that's pretty good increase in demand, and you would think that would help firm up prices and even get them to go up a little bit. But what happened was after March, they revised their forecast, and now they're forecasting 0.5% year over year for 2026 for existing home sales.